third downs. I think it's always important when you play a Coach Kelly team to keep that offense off the field, because you're talking about 80 plays a game that they do. I look over the last 2 games, we were 57% versus Oregon State, then 7 of 17 last week, just over 40%. You want to be in that 48+ percentage. So we're striving hard in there to keep their offense off the field. And defensively, we're really working the tempo because anytime you play Coach Kelly, you know that it's going to be faster than you're normally used to. So change up a little bit on the defensive side of the practice field, I think has been good for us in speeding things up. So it's been a good week thus far. I'm looking forward to Red Zone Thursday and get going. Really no new news on the injury front wise. So with that, I'll take any questions that you got.
Does Matt think being back? Who would back up JT if he goes down?
You know, I'm evaluating where Matt's at this week. You know, we're not allowing him contact right now. You know, we're just trying to get the rust off him a little bit and get him reps. I'm going to talk with the doctors at the end of the week and see where he's at. Plus, he's knocking off a lot of rust. So we're splitting those 2 reps so both guys are progressing as quarterbacks, and then by the end of the week, I'll make a decision.
Is he cleared for contact, or is this just precautionary?
He could play if needed, but I mean, obviously the man had broke ribs 3 weeks ago, so you know, I'm going to be very careful and see. You know, any times that you haven't played in 3 weeks and you're just coming back, there is some rust. You know, he's had 2 good days of knocking that off. We'll see where he's at tomorrow, see if there's any soreness, and then make a decision.
With the thin slice that you got of Jack Sears a couple weeks back, how do you know that you're playing the best quarterback right now?
I've been doing it 24 years, and I know from experience that you know, right now JT is playing good football. I do know that we're extremely fortunate to have both Jack and Matt. I thought Matt came in the Utah game and did some great things too, and that's what you want. You want as many good quarterbacks as you can have on your football team. But right now JT is our starter.
Would you have any problem putting Jack in if the offense was stalling in the second half? Is that just too much of a hypothetical?
No, I think it's a hypothetical. You know, last week's stall was not an act of the quarterback. It was an act of 3 drop balls on second down. There was an act of 2 false start penalties and a snap going over our head that produced 5 third and 7 pluses. You know, and that's hard. That's hard on any quarterback. I don't care what level you are. If all of a sudden you go from 3rd and 1 to 5 in the first half to 5, you know, 3rd and longs, that's a little bit tougher. You know, so I don't put that on the quarterback.
Brandon Peely, Jay Tufeli, and Marlon all came in together last year, and they've all been very productive this year. What have you liked about the way that group's sort of come together and developed?
Yeah, I tell you what, all our 1st and 2nd year players right now are doing a wonderful job. I'd throw Jake Lichtenstein in that group too, who's produced a bunch of quality reps over the last week. But you know, those kids, you know, Brandon played last year, got valuable reps, but Jay and Marlon redshirted, and now they're sitting here as redshirt freshmen with 3 years left to play, and Peely with 2 and Jake with 2. So the future's bright on that defensive line. They've really done a nice job of holding the point and stopping the run, and allowing to free up a Cam Smith and a John Houston, and that's what you want from your big men. You know, they don't garner all the attention, they just free up linebackers. When your linebackers are making the tackles in the hole, it's usually because you got 200-300 pounders sitting in there that are taking the double teams.
We talked to Biggie today about that penalty at the end of the game. And he said he apologized to his teammates.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the way he handled the aftermath of that?
I thought it was phenomenal. You know, we talked one-on-one about just, you know, talked one-on-one and visited, and he was like, Coach, obviously that's not what I want a younger player to learn. You know, I got caught up emotionally, and he said, you know, I'd love to be able to apologize. I want the young guys to know that that's what happens when you play emotional games, and you got to be able to hold your composure. And so we addressed it in the team. I had a 4-play clip of not only him but Amon-Ra, you know, and his, and being able to address that at team and show them, hey, this is what hurts you. And you know, if you were going to make those decisions, you're going to come stand over by me for half dozen, 6 to 8 plays, and be able to watch and be able to calm down and know that if you do it again, you're out of the game. But I thought it was really a pro move by Biggie, and that's who he is. And like we said, Cal was an emotional, competitive game, but now you're walking into a UCLA and Notre Dame game that the stakes are even raised more as far as emotion goes, because you kind of know all the guys. I thought it was really a class act move and a pro move and a veteran move, a captain move by Biggie.
Is that when he talked to them right after you showed those clips?
Yeah, so I showed the clips to everybody, and Biggie had asked, Coach, I'd love to be able to say something to the guys and apologize, because that's not who I am, and that's not what I want young guys to learn from. So I thought it was a very pro move by him.
Did you get an explanation on why they called that? Because, players talk during a game. Was it something in particular said, or why did they call?
I don't know exactly what was said. I know that there was a huddle over there, and it was hard to see, to be honest with you. I know there was jabber-jawing back and forth, and it's usually what happens to the second guy. And that's usually what happens, when the first guy pushes and then the guy that pushes back gets it. One guy talks and the guy that talks back gets it. And that's what you got to learn as a player, is usually the vision's on the second guy, and hopefully we'll learn that as a football team going forward.
Kind of a little off topic, but
yeah.
This is the 10th year. 10 years ago, USC and UCLA both started wearing the home uniforms for the rivalry. So that's a couple years before you got here. How have you liked that tradition?
I've been, this is my 9th one, and I've always, Los Angeles is home to both of us, and I've always thought this is such a cool rivalry because we all live together. Los Angeles is the best city in the world, and we got 2 great universities here that love to compete against each other, and it's home for both of us. And I think it's a great statement by both universities to allow each other to wear their home uniforms if they garner to. So I think it's been a great tradition. It's one of the most unique rivalries there is in college football, and look forward to being a part of it for the 9th time.
One more.
Okay. God, y'all are easy today. I like y'all.
Who was your little help? Who was the little help?
Every year, Grayson comes by, and he comes by, and we end up giving him ball, getting bigger each and every year.
How old is he?
I believe now he's 7. Don't hold me to it, but I think he's 7 now. But he's come out the last 2 years, and he's a great kid and a great family, and good kid. Thanks for that.